Let's move on here. Having secured the 7th seed in the West, the Lakers, as we mentioned, will face the Suns in the first round of the playoffs. According to Caesars William Hill, the Lakers opened up as big betting favorites here, a minus 300, but that's since moved to minus 170. It's the first time in at least 30 years that a 7 seed is favored over a 2 seed. So, Jackie, is this surprising to you?
It's not surprising to me at all because were the Lakers healthy, I think we would have been talking about LeBron James in another MVP race, and we would have been talking about them either at the very top of the East or about to win the East. And I think the reason people are selling on the Suns is because there's so much inexperience in that lineup, George. You've got Chris Paul and you've got Jay Crowder, but beyond that, think about the key components: DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson. LeBron has 14 postseason appearances. Those guys have 0, a combined 0. So that's why people are not buying the Phoenix Suns. But I would say be careful. This has been a team that's been versatile all year long, very consistent. And Chris Paul has been an MVP candidate with the way he's been running that team.
Well, I don't trust Vegas. In a lot of ways, I think they're just always going to push forward the popular team. So, you know, I get it with the Lakers, and they are defending champs. But you see that guy right there, number 3? CP is going to have them ready to play. CP is due. And I think with Book's a elite baller. I don't worry about him playing on this level. Yeah, you know, Ayton and Bridges. But I think CP gets this team ready to play. And while, you know, Davis has had his way with the Suns, CP is going to make sure this is a battle royal.
Yeah, look, I don't think there's any question. We all know Chris Paul is going there ready to just, you know, muck it up if he needs to and do whatever needs to get done to win. But I just think, you know, forget about just the playoff experience, which Jackie, you pointed out so astutely, right? Like, that's huge. I don't think there's any question. But I just don't know how deep a team they are, right? Like, when you look at their roster, like, how far down the roster do they really go where you have guys that you can trust, right? Maybe 7, right? Like, that to me is a problem against a Lakers team that has already played plenty of games and treaded water without LeBron and Anthony Davis. And now that those guys are in their roles, I think that they should be able to kind of move forward and kind of take care of the Suns pretty quickly. That's just my humble opinion. But
if it goes long.
Oh, well, if it goes long and LeBron gets hurt, yeah.
Jay Crowder's watching you right now, George. Jay Crowder's got something to say to you.
Right, but he to your point, though, it's Jay Crowder, it's Chris. I know Devin Booker's going to show up. I believe DeAndre Ayton will show up. I like Mikal Bridges a ton, right? But
they don't have anybody to guard AD. That's the problem.
Right.
He's had really big games against them. 42, I believe, one of the last appearances. And I think the Lakers are going to have to, LeBron included, sit on AD's shoulders. He's got to get them past this series, help LeBron heal up, but they have no answer for him. He has to be dominant. He has to be in the post. He has to be aggressive. Can't just be three-pointers. And if he could do that, I think the Lakers can get past him.
Yeah, and he wasn't necessarily that in the first half yesterday. So after the loss last night, the Warriors will face off against the Grizzlies in the play-in game tomorrow for the final playoff spot in the West and match up eventually with the Utah Jazz. The winner of that round will play them. So, Mark, what are your expectations for this final play-in game?
You know, I watched their game the other day. I think the Warriors, they have this champion experience. I've seen them play with their backs against the wall over the years. Obviously, Clay's not there, but they're at home. They've been there, done that. They're not going to be fearful of that. I wonder how Memphis is in this moment, playing against Steph and Golden State. I like the Warriors. I like them to handle Memphis. But the one thing that Memphis can do that they stopped doing in the previous loss is they got to go to Valanciunas all day, feed them, let them get a double-double, 20-15 game. And if they could not try to match buckets with Curry and force feed Valanciunas, I think they'll make it really scary for the Warriors.
I'll tell you what, if I'm Steve Kerr, I'm going to get my film out and I'm going to play the first 5 minutes of that third quarter from last night over and over and over and over again. So Steph Curry and Draymond, the two guys that you need to be at their very best, can see the lackadaisical turnovers that they cost and what it cost their team. You do that, you get that right. I do like the Warriors. Ja Morant, to me, is a wonderful player. We know he's going to be around for a long time. I do think he's been pressing a little bit. I thought he pressed a little bit in their game the other day. But they have a lot of great young talent. Maybe they've got their nerves out of the way. It'll be a really great game. I'm looking forward to it, actually.
Yeah, they're not afraid for sure. The Grizzlies, they have been fun to watch
Right.
too. But I do like the Warriors just on experience.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.